everybody, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, hello! Please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. It's been a heavy week. It has been a heavy week for me. I had to wear the crown of shade twice. People tried to overthrow the United States government. Now I have a privy council because we have to talk about the nonsense happening in the United States. I feel like it would be irresponsible if I didn't do so. So, I do try to use my channel to talk about things that are important and encourage people to participate within their country's politics or come laugh at my country's politics because I don't blame you. I don't blame you, okay? I'm not going to be biased towards the United States because I'm an American citizen. We do some ridiculous things. And yes, I'm wearing my lapel mic because I don't want any audio issues today. This is like my third video, but hey, I'm on a streak, right? But I wanted to do like a lighthearted video. Sort of. Because now I'm starting to realize this isn't necessarily a lighthearted video because this is a video about the movies I will never forgive Hollywood for ruining. There we go. It was messing up my sassy shirt. Can't have that line going. I want my sassy shirt, okay? Because people seem to be very surprised when I'm sassy. So I'm going to wear my sassy shirt so you guys understand that I know that I'm in fact very sassy. Okay, yeah, we're talking about the movies that I will never forgive Hollywood for destroying because there was so much potential and yet Hollywood always finds a way. They always find a way. So the first movie that I can't forgive Hollywood for butchering, Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is a video game, a very popular video game about assassins within Spain. It's Assassin's Creed. You're just killing people, okay? I don't want to explain the entire history of Assassin's Creed because there is in fact an actual history. It's a historically based game, but Assassin's Creed was awesome. I mean, the visuals were awesome. The acrobatics that they designed the characters with, the characters themselves, like everything about Assassin's Creed was very immersive and fun to do. Now, I'm not claiming that I really honestly didn't play Assassin's Creed much. Like it wasn't really my game. Though as a history nerd, you guys know that I was kind of in on the historical elements of that, but Assassin's Creed was very popular. So Hollywood, of course, decided they want to make a movie about this very popular game because, hey, easy money, right? Like Hollywood, can you just care? Can you just try, Hollywood? Can you just stop ruining things that we love? So Hollywood thinks they're going to make a video about Assassin's Creed and butcher it. They butchered it because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm about to get this movie all about the historical elements of this video game with the assassins. The acrobatics are about to be on point. What happened, Hollywood? What happened, Hollywood? Why was it so difficult? The reason people love Assassin's Creed is for the assassin part of it. It's for the running across the rooftops. It's for the freaking leap of faith. Why are we in like some mental insane asylum watching people talk? How did you ruin this? How did you mess up in this? I just can't. I can't. You guys ruined Assassin's Creed. Next. The next one. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. What were you doing? What were you thinking? I was watching Dragon Ball Z when I was 10. I was just like hardcore Dragon Ball Z. I've been watching Dragon Ball Z forever. I stopped like within the past 5 years because the storyline has gotten too complex and there's too many renditions of what they're going through. There's like Super Saiyan 6 or something. I stopped. But I was in on the original Dragon Ball Z and watching it religiously. And then of course Hollywood says, we want to make a movie. If this wasn't the cheesiest nonsense, Cheeto Puff looking, craptastic, no substance thing I ever did see. Like the cheese though, the cheese. I like some cheese, but this was the fakest, unreal, freaking air can spring cheese type of movie I've ever seen in my life. Ever. The storyline was horrendous, as if it was written by a 5-year-old. And Goku. Oh my gosh, Goku. You cast this white boy as Goku? Are you kidding me? And then as a fitness competitor, I'm over here thinking we're about to get like a ripped Goku. I'm like, yes, like muscles represent. Give me some eye candy, please. I'm ready for that. We didn't, look, the insult that Hollywood did to Dragon Ball Z, the disservice. Dragon Ball, whoever created and invented Dragon Ball Z, they should have sued you. They should have sued you. And some people are probably going to be like, well, they probably had the rights. Like no, nobody had the right to do that to Dragon Ball Z. Next, The Last Airbender. The Last Airbender. Okay, look. I think The disservice, the injustice done to The Last Airbender is probably the thing on the list that hurts me the most. I think The Last Airbender is the one that hurts me the most because that's the one show that I watched more religiously than anything. I mean, I watched Sailor Moon, I watched Dragon Ball Z, I watched Captain Planet, I watched Thundercats, I watched all of that. I religiously watched The Last Airbender. I missed nothing. Never. I watched it all. I damn near cried when Aang fought Fire Lord Ozai. Like that was the culmination of my life. So when I found out they were going to make a last Airbender, like the Airbender movie, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, childhood come to life. Like, forget I'm running all of your kids over when I go to the movie theater, and your kids better be quiet because this movie was for me. I loved the Airbender cartoon series. It was so rich in culture. The storyline was so mature and yet so friendly to children. Like everything was on point. So when I found out they were making a movie and I'm like, I'm going to get to see water bending and fire bending and earth bending. And I'm just like, I went full fan girl. I was tripping out. Imagine the tears. Imagine the disappointment. Imagine the heartbreak I felt when I saw what they did to The Last Airbender. Not just I mean, there's so much. Okay, so let me just, so this video is not super long. I don't want to cry because I might cry. Okay, first, the whitewashing. The whitewashing. How dare you? How dare you whitewash The Last Airbender, and in the most insulting way? The Last Airbender is fully based within Asian heritages, different Asian heritages, but very clearly Asian heritages. So to cast white people as the main protagonists for a mainly based Asian heritage type of fantasy cartoon, but make all the bad guys dark Asians. Because you couldn't just do one form of discrimination, right? You had to do two.
Why did you specifically change the main characters to white people? Actually, let me be more specific. Every good character is white now. Sokka's white, Tana's white, Aang's white. And then if that's not bad enough, the people that were brown are now pale, and now the pale people are now brown. So like the Fire Nation was full of pale people, but now they're dark-skinned Indian people. Almost all of them, except for the one that's more neutral, who is pale. Uncle Iroh. That's so ugly. Iroh. His name is Iroh. He's the only pale one. Y'all see where I'm getting at? This is gross. This movie is vastly offensive. To run home that these Fire Nation people are bad, we gotta make them dark. Also, you made them Indian? M. Night Shyamalan? An Indian man? Is it? Woo, the self-hatred.
And then the storyline. There was no storyline. There was no storyline. They were basically reading through a biography from Wikipedia while showing us clips of the characters traveling from one place to the other. There was no buildup. There was no tension. There was no emotion. There was no character development. There was nothing. These are such rich characters. How did you trash this? How did you? Not only did they say screw the storyline, right? Because they completely blasted through a storyline that took years to develop. They were just like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, Earthwire Fire book. Like they just blasted through everything without giving us any of the development tension or anything there within. You guys didn't even get Sokka's name right. They didn't even get Sokka's name right. Sokka. Sokka? Who is Sokka? Who is Sokka? And then the bending. Oh, the bending. The bending. Did you guys see the bending? Then in The Last Airbender, there was no bending. There was just like the floating of pebbles. That's what that was. Why did we have the most nonsense part of the movie I ever saw? Because I nearly fell out of my chair, and I can't remember if it was because I was crying, because I was sad, or because I was laughing. It was probably both, but there was this one clip of this movie that will live on forever in infamy in my brain of earthbenders doing this whole sequence together as if they were about to do the most badass move ever. And then a boulder floated by somebody's face. They just... Are you serious? I can't. With The Last Airbender. I will never in my life will I ever forgive Hollywood for the travesty of what they did. Never forget. Next, can't forgive Hollywood for the entire DC universe. The entire DC universe. Y'all wanted to compete so bad. They wanted to compete so bad with Marvel. Like, why am I better at strategy than you people? Did you not think maybe we should just let Marvel run its course? Because Marvel was going near the end of its like run before they had to start an entire new sequence of events to start a whole new storyline. Like Marvel was at the end of its sequence of events when DC decided to jump in and decide they want to go up against Marvel. And I'm just like, why didn't you just wait for Marvel to finish? That way everybody would have been craving more superhero action and the only thing in the space would have been DC Universe. But no. DC wanted to rush. DC wanted to rush through everything so that they could just put together the Justice League. Do you know how long it took Marvel to thoroughly like develop the characters into people that we would care about? That's why Avengers was so freaking iconic. Everybody had their own little storyline. We had a connection to every single one of those characters. But DC wanted to jump directly into Justice League and then fire the director, hire a new director, completely trash the story. And I'm going to give it to the freaking Snyder. Was it Jeff Snyder? I think it's Jeff Snyder. I saw what his breakdown was, what Justice League was supposed to do, and I give it to him. Justice League would have been bomb had Snyder been able to finish his version of events. Because after he could no longer finish and they got a new director, it went to hell. It went to hell. It went to hell. And I'm just like, what? Even though Justice League, the Snyder cut of Justice League would have been great, why did you rush past establishing all of your characters? Cyborg really got no establishment. Like it was just like what you were after the money. You were after the money. The thing is, you could have made the money. Like DC, let's be honest, DC really could have made the money had they taken the time to develop everything naturally. Like, why was it so important to compete with Marvel? You both could have succeeded in the space. Dumb. That was just dumb. Dumb. Next, Star Wars. I did do a rant about Star Wars The Last Jedi when that happened because I used to be a diehard Star Wars fan, loved Star Wars. Not anymore. Not anymore. The franchise has been killed and it's Disney's fault. It's Disney's fault. And I know I confessed in my video about things that I never grew out of, that I confessed that I still love parts of Disney. The one part of Disney that I despise with every fiber of my being is the fact that Disney is the corporation version of Thanos. Disney is the destroyer of worlds. Case in point, Star Wars. Disney destroyed Star Wars. You can't tell me they didn't. You can't tell me they didn't. They did not honor the saga, the legacy, the nothing. You gave us nothing. What was the point? What was the point? They tried to establish that Rey's parents weren't important, only to then tell us that Rey's parents were descendants of Emperor Palpatine. What was the point of dragging us through this? It was like they were trying to tell people at first a very good message of anybody can be a Jedi, anybody can do this, only to then be like, psych, it's all about legacy and your last name. Like they didn't know what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. They just wanted to be in Americans' pockets. They just wanted to be in the world's pockets when it came to Star Wars because they knew it was a cash cow. But then they killed it. You killed it. Star Wars used to be a cash cow. Now it's a joke. It's a joke. One of the most creative endeavors ever taken upon a television screen, a movie theater screen, was killed by Disney, and I will never forgive you guys for it. Gods of Egypt, gods of Egypt, gods of Egypt where? Where were the gods of Egypt? Where were the gods of Egypt? I sat here because as a Black person, when we get any sort of African or Black history that doesn't involve us being slaves or crackheads or being oppressed or shot, I thought that's what we were going to get. Finally, a history of Black people that didn't involve us being subjugated. I was so ready for that. And then I saw Gods of Egypt. Do you know what the gods of Egypt look like? They don't look like a tan Scotsman. That's what they don't look like. The gods of Egypt look nothing like Gerard Butler. And this is coming from someone who typically does enjoy Gerard Butler. Like, I actually did like Geostorm. I know I shouldn't be admitting to that because most people are like, I get it, okay? Guilty pleasure, all right? But I enjoy him. Gods of Egypt. Look, Hollywood. This is why it pisses me off when people want to come at me when I speak up about representation. Because if you don't speak up about representation, this is what you get. You get the white gods of Egypt. The white gods of Egypt. No matter what you want to say about the heritage of Egypt, because people always want to debate if people in Africa, Egypt, were Black. The one thing that no one really debates is that before Greek influence, before that happened during the time of like Cleopatra, the original Egyptians were in fact black. I don't think there's many people that do dispute that. In fact, the statues of the gods of Egypt are actually black, and I mean stone black. There's a reason for that. So it's just like the one time where it really shouldn't have been a racial discussion, because at that, like the gods of Egypt, like if you go to Egypt and you view the gods, they're black. There is really no disputing that in ancient times, Egypt was ruled by Nubians, but you gave us the whitewashed gods of Egypt. The whitewashed gods of Egypt with a Scottish accent. Oh!
What the hell? Could you imagine a movie about England and it's all black people? Like, what the fuck? Whatever, y'all.
You guys couldn't just whitewash gods of Egypt. I mean, you had to give us the Scottish accent and everything. And once again, I like Gerard Butler, but did you think that people weren't going to say anything? Black people, like, we can't get nothing. We can't get nothing. We cannot get a damn thing. Please look, Hollywood, because Hollywood's always saying, what movie should we make next? Hollywood, as a black woman, can I ask you guys for a non-whitewashed, African-rooted history of black people? What a thought. A history of black people that doesn't involve us being in chains? Yes. And don't want, like, it seems like every time people want to talk about the greatness of black history or African culture, they find a way to muscle in a white person. I can't. Like, you would think they would take the cue from Black Panther doing so well that, hey, maybe this is something that black people crave. A movie where they don't die or lose or, you know, that'd be nice. But nope, whatever. I could do a whole rant, obviously, on that. Last one. Let's do last one. Last one, Power Rangers. Power Rangers, let's just finish the fact that the movie industry, Hollywood, wanted to trample on my childhood for profit. You trampled on my childhood for profit, and I take it so personally. Power Rangers is awesome. Power Rangers has a legacy. Power Rangers has a saga. Power Rangers has an influence. It has a built-in audience, and they knew that. That's why they made the movie. They knew Power Rangers had a built-in audience. Like, why was it so cheesy? Why could not you do a Power Rangers the way Marvel did Iron Man? The way Marvel did the Avengers? Why is that not able to be applied to Power Rangers? You look. It was just so cheesy. It was just so uninspired. Like, have you seen the Power Rangers? Probably not. And people are going to be like, well, the children's version of the TV show was kind of cheesy. Yeah, but when you're taking it to a movie stage, when you have the amount of money and production quality that is expected of an American-made, like, massive thing, because they wanted this to be like multiple movies and stuff. They wanted this to be a whole saga, a whole series like Harry Potter. Like, if you're going to throw this much money behind something like this, you think you would develop it to the point where you're going to entice the grown-up audience that grew up with Power Rangers. But no, we got spray cheese. That's what we got. Power Rangers was more spray cheese. It was just, once again, no character development. There was no development of the team spirit that is Power Rangers. There was no real development of the antagonist. They kind of just like plopped us a villain, was like, there she is. Like, they tried, but it was obviously a very half-hearted attempt at trying. And I was just like, why, but just Hollywood, why you trample on my childhood? Like, what did we do to you? Like, they're using things that we love as a cash grab. And it's really upsetting. It's incredibly upsetting. All of these movies that I named had such promise. There was so much to do with it. There was so much creativity to be explored. But of course, Hollywood wants to be lazy, wants to throw out some half-ass attempt at doing a decent movie just so we can give them money. Hollywood, don't ever make a movie based on my childhood again. Don't touch anything. It is forbidden. I never want to see it again. Like, don't go after dragon tails. Like, just don't. Just don't. I can't forgive you. This is my list of why I just can't forgive you, Hollywood. I'll never let it go. Never in my life will I let it go. In the comment section below, let me know what are some of the movies that you think just really hurt you to have seen that Hollywood made, that really just disappointed you, that you were just like, why would you do this to me? What are your movies that you would never forgive Hollywood for making or butchering? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you are not a member of my court, please consider hitting the subscribe button so that I can see you again. I told you we have a lot of fun over here. Yes, we talk about serious issues, but we have fun. We have some lighthearted chit chats. We do things, okay? And I would love for you to just continue to participate. I love you and I'll miss you, but you know I will be back in a future video. Bye.